Good evening, curling fans, and welcome to the Canada Winter Games at Red Deer. We're at the Pitt Herney Centre tonight for some women's curling action between Alberta and Nova Scotia. My name's Brad Hamilton, and with me tonight is Andrew Jones.
How's it going tonight? Yeah, we're looking in for a good game here. We have the number 2 team and the number 4 team in the women's division, both looking to clinch that final playoff spot and make it into the next round. So we should be in for a treat tonight.
I think top 6 make the playoffs, so the first and second get a bye to the semifinals, and then the next 4 play in the quarterfinals. Looks like they're cranking up the bagpipes here to welcome the team. So good crowd tonight. The one side of the building is packed right next to our sheet 11. The other side over there is not quite as full, but
yeah, I got the home teams playing, so should be a good crowd out there.
Hopefully we have lots of Nova Scotia fans watching tonight, showing Nova Scotia on the game. It's probably, what, about 8 o'clock, I think, in Nova Scotia.
Welcome to Pitt Herney Centre, site of the curling competition of the 2019 Canada Winter Games. This competition is presented by Shaw, the official telecommunications provider of the 2019 Canada Winter Games. Bienvenue au Centre Pitt Herney pour la compétition de curling des Jeux d'hiver du Canada de 2019. Cette compétition est présentée par Shaw, fournisseur officiel des services de télécommunications des Jeux d'hiver du Canada 2019. This evening's event features men's and women's draw number 9. Cet après-midi, nous vous présentons l'épreuve des classements chez les hommes et les femmes numéro 9. On sheets 2 and 3, sur les pistes 2 et 3, Northwest Territories versus New Brunswick. Territoire des Nord-Ouest contre Nouveau-Brunswick. On sheets 4 and 5, sur pistes 4 et 5, British Columbia versus Saskatchewan. Colombie-Britannique contre Saskatchewan. On sheets 6 and 7, sur les pistes 6 et 7, Manitoba versus Ontario. Manitoba contre Ontario. On sheets 8 and 9, sur pistes 8 et 9, Quebec versus Prince Edward Island. Québec contre île de Prince-Édouard. And on sheets 10 and 11, sur les pistes 10 et 11, Alberta versus Nova Scotia. Alberta contre la Nouvelle-Écosse. Please rise if you are able to remove your hats and join Shelley Pop. Oops, sorry, my bad.
At the 2019 Canada Games, Shaw Communications will donate $150 to a local charity in the Red Deer community chosen by the gold medalists. That's $25,000 going towards deserving charities in Central Alberta. Thank you, Shaw, for making an impact in our community.
Pour chaque médaille remportée aux Jeux du Canada 2019, Shaw Communications versera $150 à un organisme de bienfaisance de Red Deer choisi par le médaillé d'or. Au total, $25 000 seront ainsi versés à des organismes de bienfaisance du centre de l'Alberta. Merci Shaw de faire un impact positif au sein de notre collectivité.
We wish to acknowledge the ancestral and traditional Indigenous territories of the Treaty 6 Cree and Treaty 7 Blackfoot and Stoney Nations. We also recognize this region as a historical Métis gathering site, and we are grateful to be here as we gather today for this event.
Nous tenons à remercier les Premières Nations faisant partie du traité numéro 6, les Cris, et du traité numéro 7, les Pieds-Noirs et les Stoney, car nous sommes réunis aujourd'hui sur leurs terres ancestrales et traditionnelles. Cette région est également un lieu de rassemblement traditionnel des Métis et c'est un privilège de pouvoir nous y réunir dans le cadre de cet événement.
Now, could you please rise if you are able, remove your hats, and join Shelley Popovich at the singing of our national anthem. Mesdames et messieurs, pouvez-vous vous lever et enlever vos chapeaux et rejoindre Shelley Popovich pour notre hymne national.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true Quand t'embrasses et porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillantes exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
The games will commence shortly. You may slide. Les jeux vont commencer bientôt. Vous pouvez glisser.
All right, ready to get going here on sheet 11. We've got the home team, Team Alberta versus Team Nova Scotia in women's play. We'll just run through the lineup here. I'll start with Team Alberta. Skip Julia Bakos. Third, Quinn Pradaniak. Second, Alyssa Nedowin. And lead, Juliana McKenzie.
And I'll run through the...
Commence. Good luck and good curling. Les jeux peuvent commencer. Bonne chance et bon curling.
And I'll run through the Nova Scotia team here really quick. At skip, we have Callie Moore. At third, we have Taylor Stevens. At second, we have Cassidy Curry. And at lead, we have Kate Fitzgerald.
So two of the top teams playing tonight in the women's division. Ontario's leading the way at 6-0. Then Alberta and Manitoba both have 5-1 records, and Nova Scotia next at 5-2, and then a little bit of a gap down to Saskatchewan and Quebec at 3-3. So two of the top four teams playing tonight, battling for those top two playoff spots. Alberta has the hammer in the first end.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if some teams this morning were going a little bit more conservative the first end, bringing that first rock into play and just playing it clean, but looks like that's going to be the case again tonight. Not take any risks and get familiar with the ice this first end. And
nice draw there, right on the button. Alberta's not going to leave it there. Going to play a hit and a roll over to the corner. Most teams have a little bit of tolerance here, what they'll leave in play and what they won't leave in play on that first stone. This is sitting pretty good on the button, so you probably want to get that off of there. Juliana McKenzie hits and nice roll to the edge of the 12. Oh, she just rolls a little too far.
that's kind of the tolerance, though, these first couple ends, is make the rock go away and get familiar with things. And
get the nerves under control a little bit.
Yeah, big crowd here tonight to watch them. I'm sure that's a little nerve-wracking. A lot of these younger players aren't used to that, so.
Yeah, there looks like there's a bleacher of Nova Scotia fans and maybe 3 bleachers worth of Alberta fans watching tonight. Nova Scotia's going to put this rock right back where the first one went, top 4, hopefully.
Yeah, a couple really nice draws by Kate Fitzgerald there. Not much error at all. Yeah, Alberta will be hitting again, and I imagine this will be the case for pretty much the rest of the end. We'll see a nice clean game, and
Alberta's probably hoping to blank, and Nova Scotia's hoping to get a force at the end of all this. First job done, made the rock go away, and she's going to stick on the side this time.
very nice shot, good roll.
Little bit of an advantage for the Alberta teams. The Alberta playdowns were at the Pitt Herney Center here, so they should be pretty familiar with this ice.
Yeah, good roll too, getting it out wide there a little bit early, because it can, sometimes that early ice can trick people out that wide, and looks like it might have done it here. Oh, just clips it.
Looks like it's still hanging on there, so Alberta's got exactly what they wanted. Split the house for potential 2 here. Alyssa Nedowin throwing her first stone for Alberta.
Sweepers on that one out of the hand, but we've seen that they can drag them a long way here, so. That was a very good drag by those sweepers to get that in.
End-to-end sweeping just to drag it there. Should be fun for the young curlers here. There's some Canada Winter Games banners hanging in the roof here, so you can see what they're playing for a little bit.
Yeah, the Piderni Center has a pretty good history of sending some of our athletes to the Winter Games. Some notable ones would be Jocelyn and Joel Peterman. They are both from Red Deer here.
Nova Scotia plays the hit. Fortunately, they roll out. Give Alyssa the same draw here. Sheet 10 beside us is the Alberta men and the Nova Scotia men playing. The Alberta men are currently sitting 4-2. Nova Scotia men are 2-4. Big game for Nova Scotia to try to stay in the playoff hunt, and Alberta trying to jump up into one of those top 2 spots. Alyssa looks a little heavier here.
Yeah, unfortunately just going to slide through the back there, but still Alberta's going to be pretty happy with a blank end this first end. They're not going to complain about being able to carry the hammer over. And
Nova Scotia go out wide here again, try to get rid of this rock next to the boards.
yeah, we were seeing this spot pretty straight this morning, so we'll be curious to see how much curl we get. Generally, the closer you get to the board, the less you're going to get, and she threw quite a bit of weight at this one, so it should hold straight.
Yeah, she's got her this time.
Sticks the shooter around. That's a nice shot by yeah, that was by third Taylor Stevenson. And yeah, nice shot.
Alberta's going to try and repeat that, probably hit and stick at the back there.
Yeah, they're probably only going to keep this rock out there in the wing. They're not going to be too worried about a roll to the middle, and looks like this is going to curl up nice. And
Nice quiet weight, just hitting.
Sticks around.
Fortunately, our overhead cameras aren't working on this sheet, so I'm guessing by Nova Scotia's call there that rolled a little too far. Good chance for Nova Scotia to get handle on draw weight here.
Yeah, they're going to put this rock as close to center as they can to make the rollout hard. If Alberta wants to try for their blank. And
kind of interesting how they group the games here. The men and women, it's the same right beside each other all the way across here. Alberta, Nova Scotia, then PEI, Quebec, Manitoba, and Ontario. Men and women all right beside each other.
yeah. Well, gets that teammate play in it. And all these teams travel together and know each other from competitions in their home provinces, so kind of makes a bigger sense of team camaraderie playing next to each other, I'm sure.
Nice draw by Nova Scotia. Alberta third Quinn here is going to try and hit and stick.
Looking to play the out-turn hit here. Should curl a little more. But looks like she's throwing
Nice
this one
control
pretty
weight
good.
again, yeah.
Sticks that around. Nice shot. And Callie Moore from Nova Scotia will be throwing her first one here. Trying probably for the hit and roll to the center line. This Nova Scotia team has a couple of busy weeks from the sounds of it. When they get back to Nova Scotia, they'll be playing in their U18 provincials. So they're in for a busy couple weeks here. This one's moving in with some weight, but
looks like she's got it. Rolling a little to the outside, maybe too far.
Sticks around and nice
Sticks
shot.
around right on the edge.
Really nice shot by Callie there.
First rock coming up for Julia Bakos from Alberta. Throwing the out turn on this wide hit here.
Yeah, this has been a pretty good end for both teams, I think. They're probably both feeling a lot more comfortable with the draw weight. They've been able to see a lot of different paths out there, so I think we'll be seeing a bit more aggressive play coming into the next end from both of them, because they're going to be very familiar with what the ice is doing out there. Signaling a little heavy here, but we've seen it curl up pretty good in this spot.
Just enough to clip it out and roll out. Give Nova Scotia Skip a chance to get her draw weight here, which is kind of comforting early in the game.
Yeah, it's always nice as a skip to be able to get that draw weight in your back pocket as quick as you can and get a free opportunity at a freebie here.
Ice looked like it stayed pretty consistent the whole game earlier this morning, so I think once you get draw weight, it's pretty similar the rest of the way. Very similar start to the men's game on sheet 10 as well. Pretty clean, running them up and down the sheet.
Looks like Moore has a pretty consistent pre-shot routine there. She doesn't rush it at all. She just takes her time throwing it, and that helps a long way with the junior to calm the nerves, especially when you're playing in big games like this in front of crowds. And sweeper's on this one hard. Looks like it might be coming up a little light.
Comes up a little light, and Julia's racing down here to throw this one through, try to save some time on that time clock. So
yeah, bank as much time up as you can now for those later, more complex ends.
Good idea here to pay attention to this one so you get a feel for if you haven't thrown a takeout in this spot.
Taking a little bit wider ice here. I think she just wants to know what the path will do here. I wouldn't be surprised if she's throwing the in-turn. Oh, through the out turn.
Through the out, yeah.
Just threw a nice, easy weight just to see.
It's a good lesson. Sometimes young curlers just run down and throw that through as hard as they can, and you never end up throwing that weight the rest of the game. Throw the same weight you're going to throw if there was a rock there.
Yeah, watch what it does and put that in the memory bank for later. And yeah, I think they threw pretty much every path they could that end, so they're going to be very familiar with the ice now going into N2. So a blank on the board for the first end against Alberta and Nova Scotia.
See who starts the aggressive play here, if Nova Scotia goes tight or throws the guard. Or
didn't see the call by the skip there, but I imagine the team knows the routine here.
Probably would have had a pre-game strategy session with their coach to decide, or between end meeting with the team. Looks like they're going with the guard.
Yeah, looks like she wants the guard here, which signals a little bit more aggressive of a play.
Looks like it's a little heavy. It's going to go in.
They're probably not going to be too upset, and that's not a bad spot for that rock either. Alberta's going to play the hit.
Again, this just might be that tolerance. If it's in the 4 foot, we hit it. If it's in the 8 foot, we might have thrown the corner guard, something like that. But
yeah, a lot of teams will have that threat zone that they consider. If a rock goes in it, it's too much of a threat to leave it there, so we need to make a play on it and roll it out.
Juliana's in turn here. Hit and roll to the side. Getting some decent curl off of that center line.
Doesn't look like it's going to stick around, but made the rock go away.
give Nova Scotia another chance to throw up that center guard.
Yeah, that 5-rock rule coming into play. They're not going to be afraid throwing another guard up here. I think for a lot of teams, though, the 4-foot is the threatening zone for a rock. I think that's been the consistent.
Yeah, it seems like from what I've seen, if it's in the 4-foot, most teams like to hit and then roll away and make them play over on the wings before they'll throw the corner guard.
Yeah. Well, looks like this one might come up a little bit heavy again, coming right into the 4-foot. Right on the pin, actually. She's definitely got her draw weight down.
All right, Alberta's going to ignore that and throw the corner guard.
A little bit surprising based on the last call there to hit the one in the 4-foot, but not a bad call at all. Go a little bit more aggressive, get some rocks in play.
This way, I guess, if they throw the corner and Nova Scotia follows with a center guard, Alberta can start peeling right away, whereas before they would have had to wait. So
yeah. Looks like this one might be coming in as well. Both teams look like they really got that T-line weight down.
Nova Scotia's probably happy with a force here, so they're going to hit that rock and try and stay somewhere in the house, probably roll away a bit, perhaps.
Yeah, try not to set up the double here for them. Hit this and roll away a foot, you make the double really hard. Even nosing it isn't simple, so.
They're all right on,
them.
almost on top.
It's a pretty natural double setup there. If Alberta hits the one stone a little off the nose on the outside, and we've got to roll away too. Signaling a bit firmer of weight here.
Seems to run pretty straight with the firm weight, but they do get some pretty nice curl with draw weight. Going on it hard early here.
We're curling a little, trying to catch the...
Not a bad shot. Got one out and rolled the one, another one behind the tee line. So
yeah, they're going to be okay with that outcome. And Nova Scotia playing into the top 12 with this one.
Nova Scotia's coming top 12, top 8. Make Alberta make a double to get control of this end back.
Looks like their signal, it's a little heavy, so Skip Cali there is just asking them to freeze it onto that back one. Not quite curling up as hard as we've seen it curl on the past ends, but when we were on here earlier, that out-turn path was pretty straight.
Yeah, out-turn path coming home. Caught Team Quebec a few times earlier today, so sure the ice got a good scrape in between draws, so it should be just as good for this draw as it was the last one. There's Alyssa throwing the out-turn, big weight again.
Yeah, that rock's coming in hot.
It needs to curl up a bit to get the
bit.
double.
Made the one go away.
I think both teams were interested in a little more aggressive approach this end, but you got to put the rocks in the right spot to make that happen. So
Yeah, Nova Scotia has Alberta chasing here a little bit, but Alberta's not too worried from the looks of things. They're pretty comfortable throwing that big wave from what I saw in their practice and a couple of other games. So
great job sweeping by Nova Scotia there, kind of end to end to get that right where they wanted it. Leaves a double for Quinn Pradaniak from Alberta.
Alberta calling the sweep on right away, so maybe a little tight here, but no, calling them back off. Must be close. Ooh,
Oh, just missed.
just missed, but stuck the shooter around. Nice shot. Alberta seems really comfortable with that big weight. They're throwing it nice. And
Nova Scotia's going to probably try and just hit this on the nose, either that or roll in front of their one on the forefoot. The force is kind of on here if they can just trade stones for the rest of the end here.
Very clean throw by Team Nova Scotia, which on this ice is a good thing, because if you tend to turn it in or float it out a little bit, you're not going to get that rock back. But very clean throws by Team Nova Scotia there. Rocks are curling up just perfect for them.
You beat me to it. I was just going to say, boy, the deliveries are nice and smooth and right at the broom and good releases.
Yeah, by both teams.
All right, Quinn's second rock here. And the intern this time, which probably going to curl a little harder once it gets over that center line.
I'm almost thinking they're maybe trying to get the roll here underneath that high one to maybe generate a deuce here.
A little bit of a roll. Nova Scotia will try to just hit that, roll back towards the center, the other side.
Yep, skip stones coming in. The first one by Callie Moore here.
This is the last draw today at the Paterni, and I think tomorrow there's 2 more draws tomorrow, 10 and 5, Alberta time again, and then Friday I think last round robin and the playoffs start. So starting to get crunch time here.
Yeah, lots of important games on the ice out there. We've got some of the top teams playing each other, and they're all hunting for that win. I don't think anyone's eliminated yet, or just gonna roll out. Alberta's probably gonna be pretty happy with that, because they can keep their blank alive if they choose to play that way.
Hit on the nose probably gets you into the house here, but a little roll to the center would guarantee that you're in the house.
I don't know. With Joel.
But did you want well, she's down there. I saw her. But did you want into the line? I watched the semifinal.
Julia's first stone here, out turn hit, out on the outside there. I'm going to guess she keeps her weight up.
Yep, well, sweeper signaling it's up. Maybe a little heavier than they called, but I think they're still going to remove the stone. Ooh.
That's that out turn we saw earlier today. If you were touched it out at all, it was very unforgiving.
Yeah, it did not curl up very much there with any sort of weight. So Nova Scotia looking to play this top 12 and make it so Alberta has to draw.
I think you want to make sure this one's in the house. The force is on. If it's anywhere in the house. Ideal is probably top 12 to try and make her think about whether she wants to draw or hit, but
these teams are so good they can make both, no problem. But good force by Nova Scotia.
looks like both the Nova Scotia sweepers are you timing something back line to hog or T line to hog, and both gave a heavy signal when that one was let go. And
yeah, it looks like this one's gonna slide a little deeper than they intended, but let's see if it sticks around there in the back.
Looks like that's going through. Alberta's gonna get a chance at the blank here.
Yeah, second crack at it, and electing to play the other turn now, so they're going to play the in turn at it. Probably not a bad idea with how straight that out turn is.
Yeah, this is the long way to roll, but I don't think Julia liked the way that out turn ran out there on her first one. Alberta and Nova Scotia men blanked the first end as well. They've got a little bit messier end playing the second here. There's about 10 rocks in play.
Yeah, it's they're sitting pretty good though, or they're at least sitting one. Sweepers on our sheet indicating they need to go. But,
yeah, she hits and rolls in, but not the end of the world to score one on an even end and take the early lead here. So,
yeah.
Good job by Alberta.
Builder after that last one too, and gets familiar with that path there. And yeah, as we said earlier, that out turn path is a little tricky for some teams today.
All right, so we head to end three with Alberta up 1-0, and Nova Scotia's going to have the hammer for the first time tonight. See how two teams play now that they've switched hammer here. Pitherney Center's hopping tonight. Don't know if you can see the fans on the one side there. They're pretty much full right next to our sheet. And probably half or 2/3 full on over on sheet 2. And
yeah, we've been seeing good crowds out here all week, and it sounds like it's been like that across the entire Canada Games. Lots of people coming out, and had a little bit warmer today out here in Alberta. It beats the -40 we've been having, so
I think it's only like that for a day or two, and then we're supposed to get colder again. So hopefully people are enjoying the webcasts.
Yeah, it's
trying to keep you entertained on a Wednesday evening.
Yeah, Alberta calling the center guard, hoping that they can sweep that over a little bit. Most teams are pretty happy if those rocks touch the center line, and looks like this is going to finish up nice for them. A good directional sweeping there by, I believe that was that Alyssa?
Yep.
Yeah, Alyssa Netto in there. She brought that over to center line really good.
Nova Scotia is going to try to get around that center guard, so kind of your typical 5-rock rule here now. Team without hammer throws the center, and the team with hammer tries to beat them around.
Yeah, this is very common nowadays. It's almost too risky to leave them a chance to get around it, because you can't do anything with that guard until 5 rocks have been thrown. So they'll try to beat Alberta to the button. Needs to curl up a little here, but
good finish late on that rock.
Good finish, yeah. Very nice shot by Kate Fitzgerald there. She's been curling. She's really got that draw weight down.
Alberta's going to follow him down, try to freeze on it. I think she said you could, they're thinking about throwing a hack at it.
Yeah, I think they think it's probably about half open, so they can play a little bit heavier of a weight and still get to nose.
It's like they've gone back to the freeze, maybe tap at a stone or two.
Yeah, the big thing here for them is just set the angle up nice and be patient.
Freeze on this one here, the scoring zone gets awfully small for Nova Scotia.
And Alberta's going to be more than happy with the force here. Just hanging out there a little bit, just maybe through that about back line.
Yeah, ticked the Nova Scotia stone behind the center. I think Nova Scotia is going to put another one right in behind that center guard. Good aggressive call here. Just getting the feel of the ice for those first couple ends. It looks like they're ready to go at it now.
Yeah, both teams look pretty hungry for some good curling, so. Sweepers indicating this one's maybe a little bit heavier than they were anticipating, and looks like they're trying to figure out what they want to do with it. wide through the back there. Sticks around. Never a bad place to have a rock.
Alberta's going with the same shot here with Alyssa. Try to freeze on that one. Even if you freeze on the corner of it, it's a pretty good shot. It'll be awfully difficult for Nova Scotia to get out if she makes this.
Sweepers on that one pretty quick. Backing off a little bit for line. Line colors really don't want them to go on it, but there's the break. Maybe just waited a little too long for it.
Just a few feet heavy again there. Gives Nova Scotia another chance to get in behind that center guard there. Even if they get top 12, don't even really have to worry about being second shot right now. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Alberta.
Yeah, we're seeing this path maybe get a little bit quicker than the other ones. There's been a lot of rocks thrown down it between some hits and some draws, so just getting a hog-to-hog time here.
Yeah, we haven't played a whole bunch on the intern side of the sheet here.
This one for our viewers was a 13.67, so a little bit quicker, that back line wait again. Looks like that path is, we're usually seeing about 15 seconds for a draw to the button for hog-to-hog time, so that 13.6 is just a little bit quick. So Alberta looking like they're gonna try to run that guard back and get that blue one off the pin. Probably gonna be okay with just the straight peel.
Yeah, I think having that second Nova Scotia rock at the back there changes the strategy here a little bit. You go all offense and miss again, you're bringing 3 into play, whereas peeling this pretty much.
This looks really close for the run.
Real close.
Looks perfect.
Great shot by
Very
Alyssa.
nice shot. No mistake there.
Great throw, great line call, great sweeping.
Those long runs are not easy to line up. They're even harder to throw when you're looking at them. But no mistake there. Even got the bonus one in the back, and looks like our crowd liked that one.
Looks like Nova Scotia's playing the same thing, although probably not hoping to stick the guard that they run back. They would probably also take the peel.
Looks like they're getting a straight peel here.
Peel here.
That's okay for them. The nice thing for Nova Scotia is that blue rock in the back is locked on there pretty tight. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
It looks like she's going to play the out turn. I think if she plays the out turn, she can shoot it out. Yeah. Again, it would be hard to tell without the camera. I'm not sure they're frozen right on each other.
If there's any space there, they can probably throw some weight and get rid of it. And
she's probably not going to be too disappointed if she loses 1 or 2 of the yellows back there.
No, I wouldn't imagine so. This one will be moving a little bit. Yeah, it's coming in quick. Looks really close. Just got to curl up a little bit.
Okay, anything on the outside here will make that blue go away. Looks like it's got the job done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Great shot by Quinn, and all of a sudden Alberta is line 3, pressure back on Nova Scotia.
They're going to try to line something up. Not sure if the triple angle is there, but they can for sure get a double.
Throw the double and take the triple as the bonus here.
Yeah.
Looks like she's going to throw a pretty big weight. The tap was on top of the head there, so.
Looks like we're calling that peel weight. And a couple really good shots by Alberta there to get this set up. And this looks really close too, though.
Oh, wow.
That is a nice shot.
Almost did get the triple. That was big weight.
That was. Both these teams look like they have that big weight in their back pocket to throw, no problem.
Yeah, these young players all seem to have the big weight at a much younger age than some of us old veterans.
Some of the old veterans still don't have the really big weight. Yeah, playing that out turn again. Those in-to-out hits, they seem to be more comfortable with them at this level.
I think the ice seems to be running a
little nicer that way.
Yeah, there's enough curl and not too much going that way, whereas they're not too sure about that inside-out hit quite as much.
Yeah, it looks like if you see Nova Scotia's electing to play the in turn here, the out to in hit, and likely trying to get a big rollover close to that other yellow to maybe set up a jam, but I'll be curious to see how much this one curls out here. They're not taking very much ice, so
force is definitely on here for Alberta if they can keep trading rocks with Nova Scotia.
Yeah, this one, it almost looks like it fell out there. It did not curl very much. Is that going to hit the yellow? No, we'll go underneath. Good attempt there by Moore.
Gives Bakos a chance here to split the house, chance to get draw weight.
Yep, free draw for them.
She's not going to go too wide with the draw. Not a bad idea here to, something that ends up edge of forefoot. That's a shot she might have to play later in the game.
Yeah.
Pretty slow starts on most of the sheets tonight. Mainly one-enders, some blanks.
Yeah, no deuces in any of the sheets, I think, this far.
Oh, there's one. PEI just got a deuce and 2 in the women's game, so PEI's up 2-1 on Quebec on sheet 9. Andrew's job is to keep me focused on sheet 11 rather than 6 and 7 where Manitoba's playing. So
yeah, we got the Manitoba born here cheering them on. That's the nice thing about these games is you get to see teams from all over the country, and just the skill level that they're bringing is quite impressive at this young age. She'll stick that around. I'm not sure she even set up a double back there, so not an easy one in any manner.
Like they're talking about just hitting and flopping in front of it.
Yeah. I think you stick your shooter if you make the double. Yeah. So at that point, it's easier just hitting one on the nose or drawing full 8-foot, but looking like she's comfortable with the hit here right now. Nova Scotia fans out there cheering hard. Yeah, it doesn't look like too many teams are taking too big a chances here. It's a tight race to playoffs, and no one's going to risk anything huge from the sounds of it, so from the looks of it.
Yeah, there's some wide open ends. It's a little different from this morning, it seems. So maybe once we get 3 done here, teams will crank up the offense a bit.
Looking like she's just got this one on the nose.
Rolling a little outside right now.
That's a big steal of 1 for Alberta.
Oh, we still got 2 more rocks.
Do we?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Our apologies.
Yeah.
My apologies. Getting ahead of myself.
So it gives Julia another chance to get draw weight down here. Again, she's playing right to the forefoot.
Again, taking that nice time to get in that pre-shot routine, not rushing anything, and making sure they're comfortable throwing that rock.
Sweepers are just on and off, so she must be pretty close.
Yeah, weight looks pretty nice. Probably going to try to leave this a little higher, but yeah, that's a very nice shot. No mistake there. And
great spot. It's going to be iffy whether Nova Scotia can hit that on the nose and outcount the one at the back.
I think they can, but it's really close.
Got to be careful you don't jam it as well. So
yeah, that's
definitely the blank, I would say, is at a play here. Allie's going to throw that out turn hit. And I think nose or just even a tiny little flop either way would get her the one, and we'd be tied playing.
She looked like she was signaling that she could blank it, which is
really?
not an easy shot.
All the doubles there, the double with the rollout is not that easy.
But I think she'll be okay with getting one here, tying the game up, going into 4. Super on that really quick, but backing off now.
It's moving a bit. Good job.
Nice shot.
Hit and roll for 1. We're tied at 1 apiece after 3 ends.
They're taking a second look. Oh, no. Looked like they were going to take a second look there for this, but 1 Nova Scotia. Alberta's going to be happy with the force there, and Nova Scotia made their nice shot for their point.
Always nice to have the hammer in the even ends here, so Alberta will be happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, both teams made some really good shots there. That was a well-played end. It was not looking like it was going to be that open at the start.
Lots of rocks in play at the start, and then great run back by Alyssa there. Kind of got Alberta out of trouble, and after that, the end cleaned up. Nova Scotia will go with that center guard again here.
Yeah, I think that's a smart play. A steal here would be really huge for Nova Scotia. And that's the best chance of getting it, is get this one on the center line and get one wrapped around it quick. And Alberta's really probably going to try to score here, would be my guess.
Yeah, tied playing an even end. You kind of want to, ideally a 2, but a 1 isn't the end of the world. Pretty good center guard touching the center line. Bakos is called to draw around that. Get top 4, get in behind there, and get Nova Scotia chasing them.
Sweepers on this one pretty quick. They're going to try to hold it out there. Don't really want to be too light with it. You'll set up a second center guard, but
I think it's on the guard already, so.
I'm a little surprised Nova Scotia is electing to play this out turn here. I think it's a little easier to get buried playing the in turn, but they know the path, so. Skip signaling it's a little wide, but we do get a lot of late finish here. Looks like it's coming in a little quick. Digging in now.
Coming down now.
Needs to get that directional sweeping going. For Nova Scotia, that's not a bad rock at all. It really shrinks down that scoring area.
Alberta's going to run up and peel their own center here. They don't want 2 staggered center guards, so.
Yeah, they just take their own out. Looks like it's a pretty clean peel.
Yeah, she needs to get a piece of that yellow. Nova Scotia's going to get to put that blue rock back if they want.
That yellow will come off, and if that's the 5 rock rule, they'll get to replace that, and I imagine they'll be wanting to replace that. That rock was in a pretty good spot. I think it was a little more over than that. Playing that out turn again, they're really comfortable, looks like, with that path.
Seems to know this path. I think the right weight, that would have.
Yeah, it would have buried.
Yeah.
Just maybe to some of our viewers that don't watch a lot of curling, the reason we're talking about playing the other turn is with the stagger on those 2 high guards, sometimes it can be a a little easier to bury a rock because it'll curl past them and overbury on the 2 guards. So just coming up a little bit heavy there. Yeah.
She's got the right ice there. If we, the right weight, it'll curl right in there.
Yeah.
Now Alberta can peel either one of the guards. 5 rocks have been thrown, so.
Really clean throw there. Nice positive.
Lots of rotation. Rocks are just going to jump off one another there and head to the boards.
Very consistent throws too. That helps a lot at the junior level. And Nova Scotia going to use that high Alberta guard to come around.
This one's a little lighter, I think.
Yeah, this weight looks a lot better, but the tolerance, I think, here is to be a little light and give yourself another guard.
Yeah, and she's partially covering that one that's just
Back
8 foot, so see if looks like Alberta's thinking about switching gears here and going, we might as well get in behind there. That rock behind the tee line's not bothering us too much, so.
Yeah. Seconds last rocks. It's not a bad time to start playing a little bit more aggressive, getting a few in here. Sweepers on this one pretty quick, but line looks good. Big thing's getting by that top one, and then it should bury with the curl we have here.
She's by. It's just whether it's got enough weight here.
Sweepers are going really hard on this one.
Looks like we're going to make the house, but I don't think we're going to be shot. It's going to be shot.
Yeah, just coming up a little light there in the top 12. That's a pretty big adjustment. She's been throwing a lot of heavyweight hits. I think that's the first draw she's thrown in the last couple ends.
Nova Scotia's got the ice down pat for this outturn draw here, so.
Yeah, they've had quite a few opportunities at it. Now the outturn is definitely the way to come at it. And they loop one around here. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty good end for Nova Scotia. Don't want this one too deep, but
probably coming to that back one.
That's still not a bad shot for Nova Scotia. Has them sitting 1-2 there.
Hard to get that out, but I'm going to guess Alberta either freezes to it or runs that guard.
Yeah, it's I think the peel is the smart option here. Give yourself a shot at it and open it up.
Sheet next door to us, Alberta men scored 1 and 2 and then stole 1 and 3. They're up 2-0 on Nova Scotia playing the 4th ends.
Ton of rocks in play both those ends. I think there was 15 out of the 16 in play in the last end. It was
peel by Alberta here.
Looks close. They want to be a little careful not to hit their own yellow there in the house, but looks like they're going to go right over top. Nice shot.
Great shot by Quinn there. That wasn't easy to go over the top of that one. So pretty important that Nova Scotia either guard this, or it looked like they almost called going partially around those yellows. Did you see that?
I didn't see the exact spot they want to call, but a guard here isn't bad. I mean, bringing it in for third shot isn't bad either. You just got to be a little careful not to give Alberta the out if you're bringing it deep. Looks like they want to bring it in, kind of Christmas tree it a little bit, I think. They tuck a little piece behind those yellows. Sweepers thinking they need to go, but they're close with it. It's got a curl. That's a pretty good shot. It's not quite buried, but
not sure Alberta can probably get to the inside with quiet weight. Yeah, looks like she's calling quiet weight.
I think those rocks are edge on edge. Maybe there's a little bit of air in between it, but
I'm going to guess that was the symbol for control, but I'm not sure. Sweepers are calling up a little bit right now.
It looks a little heavier than a normal control would be, but gonna remove it and roll out.
So you can probably hear our broadcast booth is close to the VIP lounge and close to the little bar in Red Deer here, so it can get a little loud at times.
Yeah, we're kind of the popular corner.
Yeah. Nova Scotia's going to try and put that rock back top 4, I think. Oh, coach isn't too sure about this shot. They've called a timeout.
So the coach is
Rob Moore for Nova Scotia. And Glenna Rubin for Alberta.
I'm almost wondering if the coach is thinking just throw a higher guard up there. There's not really a nice draw path in for Alberta. They can play that out turn, but as we've seen, the wider it seems to get, the straighter it seems to go. So
I'm wondering about what tight guard in front of those blues. I'm not sure what Alberta plays other than rip the guard. Or
yeah, I put it just a foot out of the house, and then by putting it that close, you're really risking the jam on that yellow over there with any sort of peel weight.
I don't think you want the guard too long, or else Alberta's just going to wrap around it
Yeah.
and try and freeze to it. But we'll see what they talk about and come up with here.
Yeah, and this might even just be a nerve calming one. They've been playing really well though, so both teams haven't really given the other teams a lot of opportunities, and
seems like they take turns each end having control, and someone else has control.
And then someone makes a fantastic shot, and we're back to a clean end.
Looks like they've decided not to bury this, but maybe go top 12, guarding those ones.
That's not a bad call either. It's
kind of like leaving this one just biting the 12, so if they do decide to hit it, the shooter ends up staying out of the house.
yeah, that's not a bad option either. It makes Alberta think twice about what they're throwing, and as a player, I think the more time you spend thinking about a shot, the harder it gets. So
Yep, your mind can get in the way of your technique. Key here, I think, is if you've thrown the guard, make sure the line's good. And
looking like
leave
this
it up
one
to the sweepers to place it.
signaling a little heavy on this one, but we've seen it come down a couple times in this path.
Universal curling signal for heavy, the sweeper pointing up to the roof.
Coming down really nicely though. This is going to be in a pretty nice spot for Nova Scotia. Alberta's probably going to play on it. They can most likely get some sort of, they can get some action off those two in the back by running that back one in and even getting an inside roll.
All the weight we've seen them throw, I wouldn't be surprised if they can get all three of these moving here. So
yeah, and with that ice they're taking, I am expecting this one to be moving pretty quick.
yeah, she's got middle of the rock or less, I think.
I imagine it is the out turn, so I think they're imagining it's going to run a little bit straight here. But with the weight we've seen her throw, I will not be surprised if she can get all three of those rocks moving around.
I think a hair off nose on there, pretty close to nose on the out turn side, probably comes close to getting all three of them.
Looks like a real close throw here. She's not taking any risk being wide. Sweeper's on it. This looks close. Oh, very nice shot.
Gets rid of two of them, and she's actually shot rock at the top of the 8 foot. Great shot by
nice shot.
Bakos there. Great team shot. Let it go. Sweepers were on it the whole way. Great line call by Quinn.
Yeah, looks like they've got that spot figured out now, and they're going to be confident throwing down there again. I think that may be her mother jumping up there in the stands with the sign that says "I love Julia."
Now Nova Scotia hit and roll in the top yellow or playing the draw.
Got to be a little careful here. I mean, it would obviously be nice to get rid of that shot rock, but you really don't want to jam it here because you might set up the three for Alberta. You're okay giving up 2, but
I think she's drawn. They've played this draw a bunch of times this end, so she knows the ice for it. So I think she's going to try and draw. And
I think the draw is a safe call because I think the most you're going to give up is 2 if you can get it to. And if you full bury it, you very might well set up the steal again.
That yellow in the 8-foot roll to almost the perfect spot. You
Yeah.
play for the roll inside, you probably jam. You play for the roll outside, you probably open up the blue one at the back, and that yellow in the 12-foot probably comes into play. So probably well thought out here.
Signaling up again on the sweep here, but we've seen this path kind of dig in a little bit.
Not the end of the world here if she's up a little bit to wick off that.
They're sweeping again, so I'm not sure if they're.
I think they were thinking about the wick there for a second, but
The
now
sweep
it's
looks
just
pretty good.
straight draw as far as it can go, and they'll be putting some pressure on Alberta.
Looks like that spot's kind of caught them a couple times. They've been sweepers have been signaling weight up, but it's been slowing down.
Oh, just about the same spot that Julia just threw her last one, so should know the ice. I'm going to guess this one's going to be a little quieter weight than the last one she threw.
Yeah, just throw this one nice and easy, let the curl do its work, and still not taking a ton of ice, but I don't think she thinks it's going to curl a ton.
She's got to be a bit careful she doesn't roll off towards her yellow one. She's only got to push it half a stone, and it won't be second shot. So
yeah, she'll nose here is big for them.
This is what you're looking for when you got hammer and they're tied, playing an even end. A shot at 2.
Looks like a pretty good throw, maybe a little heavy. This is that spot, doesn't like to curl. Looks like she played a good weight at it though.
Nice quiet weight.
It's gonna curl up on her.
She's got enough to punch it out. Just enough.
Yeah, she does.
Great control of weight there.
Very nice end by Alberta there, and Nova Scotia. They had a lot of pressure put on there. A couple good shots made to get Alberta the deuce. So Alberta will be up 3-1 going into the break. We got a close game here.
Should we run through some scores here before we maybe take a little bit of a break? Sheet 2, we've got Northwest Territories and New Brunswick men. Northwest Territories are up.
Oh, they're
just hanging another score up there for us. 4-1 for Northwest Territories over New Brunswick. The women's game on sheet 3 is tied between New Brunswick and Northwest Territories. Sheet 4, we should have done this earlier. I don't know if it's men's or women's games. We'll have to come back to those. So we'll move over to sheet 8. We've got a 3-3 tie between Quebec and PEI men. And we got a 2-2 tie between Quebec and PEI women.
Yeah, and then in our other feature game, Alberta versus Nova Scotia, they're in the 4th end here. Alberta is up 2-0 still, and it's looking like it's a pretty clean end for them, not taking too many risks. So looks like Nova Scotia took 1, so it'll be a 2-1 game going into the break. We'll be right back with more action from Alberta versus Nova Scotia women.
All right, welcome back to the Pitherney Centre in Red Deer and the Canada Winter Games. We're ready for end 5 here. The 4th end break is over. Alberta's up 3-1, playing the 5th end, and Nova Scotia has hammer. Good game so far, and a lot of good shots. Kind of been trading back chances a little bit here. Alberta was in trouble that whole end, but turned it around at the end and got their deuce.
Yeah, very nice shots being made by both skips and actually by all members of the teams. They've been really putting on a good show for the fans, and some great curling shots being made.
Can update you on some of those scores we were having trouble figuring out because they were in their 4th end breaks there. Saskatchewan men are up 3-1 on the BC men. Saskatchewan women are up 3-2 on the BC women. Oh, on sheet 6, Ontario's up 3-2 on the Manitoba men. Good battle between a couple of top teams on sheet 7. It's 1-1 Ontario and Manitoba. And on sheet 8, we've got 3-3 Quebec and PEI men.
Yeah, a lot of good games out there, nice and close. No blowouts right now. It's a lot of close games.
All right, Alberta opens. They go top 8 foot here, and it looks like Nova Scotia's going to throw the corner guard.
Yeah, they're likely thinking that rock in the 8 foot isn't in the most threatening spot as of right now, so free chance to get their corner up and hopefully generate a deuce here.
Teams usually come out firing after that 4th end break. They've had a chance to talk to their coach, just reaffirm some strategy.
Good pep talk. And
get some food in you as well, some food and drink usually. So
yeah, there's a little more life out there now, always after the 4th end break, and both teams look ready to go. Alberta trying to get the center guard up on their one they just threw. Going to see a lot more rocks in play. Oh, looks like they're bringing it in.
Trying to tap a bit, not going to tap on line here. Probably see Nova Scotia hit and roll behind or draw behind. Looks like they're going to quiet hit and roll behind. Don't worry about whether you get a double or not. The roll's more important than the double here.
Yeah, you get one behind your corner here, you're sitting really good. The double's just kind of bonus if it's even there with the roll. I think with the soft weight, they're probably wanting to play it, isn't? But
yeah, I think she called control again. Directional sweeper trying to get this to move over a little bit.
they might get the double now.
Not quite enough weight, but they
just push that behind T.
Pushed it behind the guard, but Andrew's right, it's behind the T line, so Nova Scotia's not going to find that rock too much of a threat. Alberta's looking to draw a top 8 here, kind of block off that draw path behind that corner guard. Too early for them to peel that guard in the 5 rock rule, so this is the...
Yeah, not a bad call to go behind the corner. You are leaving the whole out-turn side of the sheet there open, but they're likely thinking this is where Nova Scotia is going to go, so we're going to beat them there.
I think so. Just choke off this draw for Nova Scotia.
Really good spot for that rock.
Nova Scotia probably plays the hit now on that, so just call a nice quiet weight here, back line.
Just trying to push that to the back.
Again, she's, I think, playing hard for the roll behind.
The roll behind is tough here. You don't have a ton of room by that guard.
Yeah, I'm right behind the thrower here, and it's best, I would say, edge on edge, so she might have got this one a little wide. Nice quiet weight though, so there it starts to go.
There's the curl.
There it goes. The directional sweeper's working it hard here.
Not going to get the inside roll, but it's still going to be a very nice shot.
Great shot.
Great shot. Yeah. Stuck the shooter up there, and there's always the possibility of a jam when you're throwing this. I know sometimes that goes through a thrower's head when they're looking down there. And
This is a gutsy call to call the inside roll on this one too, in case you don't get it. So
Not a bad idea to play it a little tight though, because it takes the jam possibility hopefully away.
just threw it nice.
They're getting the curl out of it. Looks like
Just got the inside roll.
a nice shot.
Almost rolled too far there. It's opened up that draw path for Nova Scotia. So
I'm not sure, as again our camera isn't working here, but it might just be biting. It's tough to tell.
I'm gonna bet you chocolate milk that it is biting.
Well, there's lots back in the volunteer lounge, so that's a pretty safe bet.
Line looks pretty good on this one.
They're getting a lot of late finish out of this.
Boy, as soon as it comes off that center line, it starts to go.
Yeah. They can miss that guard by a foot and pop out the other side still.
This one's going to be buried, just not sure it's going to be shot or not.
I don't think it should. No, it's not shot.
I'm going to say I don't think it's shot, but
Really nice weight. The curl there is. Our VIP lounge is getting a little rowdy right now.
dead buried around that guard. Beautiful weight, beautiful job by the sweepers. So. Alberta is playing the corner freeze on that draw that Nova Scotia just threw. Probably end up with them counting two, plus it protects that rock at the back there. For some reason, this one's just not finishing quite as hard, but it is good. What a great job sweeping. Perfect shot.
Yeah.
Not a lot Nova Scotia can do with that rock without getting rid of the blue one.
They can't touch that yellow at all because it goes straight back onto that blue. It's real risky making a play on it, but I don't really know what other options they have at this point. You can maybe look at.
I think Nova Scotia thinks there's enough curl that you skinny that guard, you can punch the yellow out the other way, which.
They very well may be right about that.
Yeah, the way the last couple have curled. Nova Scotia might get a hair more curl in their rocks, maybe not quite as much rotation as Alberta.
Yeah, they seem to be getting a little bit more. Like this one's going quite hard, the directional inside sweepers.
This gets by, it's a good one, but it looks like it's ticking the guard. That's not a bad miss.
That's not bad either.
Open that up. She almost rolls over on the other side. So.
It does give you a corner on the other side that if you come behind it, you might be pretty close to shot.
This opens it up for Alberta to get rid of that blue. Just a nose hit on that yellow or a little off nose. And
yeah, you're going to lie four?
Yeah.
On this one, pretty quick out of the hand, but these sweepers can hold it. As you see, she's kind of pivoting behind the rock to keep it as straight as possible. Looks like they've got a good one here. Yeah.
Good job
really
by the
nice.
sweepers.
Good hold.
Scoring zone's getting smaller and smaller on Nova Scotia here, but no need to panic quite yet. Some good places to hit and roll behind or roll in front of some Alberta rocks that are behind the tee line.
Still a nice wide open end too, so they have a draw in if necessary. You want to score here now if you're Nova Scotia and keep the game close.
This is Taylor's last rock here, so not sure if they're playing the double or more important the hit and roll behind that one that's on the back of the four.
I think the roll is more important here. The doubles always look nice to get rocks out of play, but positioning is huge. Getting that rock in the right spot so Alberta can't make an easy play on it is going to help them out a lot. Looks like their signal on this one's moving pretty good. It's curling, but are they going to get the
skinny double?
Thin double?
Oh, almost. Pretty big weight there.
Yeah, that one was moving.
Seemed to take the curl right out of the ice, so.
Alberta just drawing it in, shrinking that scoring area. I think they're probably going to be okay with this rock being in the top 8 foot, even maybe a little higher. It's going to cut off a draw path. And
sitting right on the center line, I think, is pretty good here.
yeah.
Gotta be careful you don't leave a draw path to that back one there, or Nova Scotia will probably take it as they're out.
They're looking like they're pretty comfortable. They didn't take too long to make that call, so they're comfortable with that draw weight. Looks like this is maybe going to over curl or just sit there in the top 12. Very nice shot. Over curled a little bit.
Yeah. See what Nova Scotia looks at here. A few choices. Hit that top one. Could always try to freeze to the back one.
I guess you guys can't see my hand signals on the live stream, but
Andrew likes the hit and roll off the outside one here.
the freeze is a more aggressive option, being that they have 4 in play. I think I like hitting something, and I think they do
that's
too.
what she's thinking is I'd sooner throw my last rock against 2 or 3 rather than 4 or 5. So
yeah, and she's been throwing hits. Well, she threw 2 draws last end, so she's pretty comfortable with that weight. But at this point in the game, I think you gotta make some rocks go away, and
could almost play the top one there, play the double, and maybe roll a little in front of that one in the 8 foot.
that's kind of where my thinking leans. Is if you make that roll, it's really good.
Not sure here. That broom could be in the right spot for both of the in turn on the one at the top of the 4 foot or the out turn on the one in the 8 foot. We'll see.
I'm thinking they're going to be playing the in turn, but it's tough to tell. Yeah, you're right. It could be either or.
Looks like the in turn.
Got a little bit.
Oh, it's the out
it's
turn.
the out turn. They're both gone.
Playing that roll into the 4 foot. This one's curling hard. This is that curling spot.
No,
It's got a little bit of a roll.
Not a pretty good attempt at that one.
She might be second shot again. We're a little handicapped with the no camera at the far end here. So
Cameras are supposed to be back up tomorrow and running, so.
Julie is just going to probably hit, and I don't know, she might want to roll a little bit so she kind of gets out of the way of making it an easy shot for, she rolls one way or the other here. I'm not sure Nova Scotia has a very easy shot.
Well, they've got the one on the back. That's the kind of their saving grace at the moment. They can play that out turn and just come up to nose on it and be shot on that yellow in the back 4 there. I think that's going to be their out there.
Looked like the front end talked Julia into playing the out turn here. They were throwing these inside out ones a bunch, so kind of know the ice to it for it.
Yeah, and it's got such a nice curl here. I think it's a smart play. They've thrown a bunch down here, so.
Looks like we're pretty close to nose.
Yeah, nice flop in. Good shot.
Callie's going to have her choice here, that same shot or that one Andrew was talking about on the back of the 4 foot. Looks like she's leaning that way.
I think you throw a nice control weight at it, you'll curl right up to nose. She's not taking a lot of ice, so.
There's not much room to roll. Out, that's for sure.
You want to make sure you get to nose on this one. But you also need to stick that shooter right there. Not an easy shot. It's never fun being a skip looking at the barrel of 4, but
that's why I gotta get paid the big money.
Yeah, odds are at this level you're gonna have to make 1 or 2 of these a game, and
big shot here at this point of the game.
Took a little bit more ice, so I'm expecting a bit quieter of a weight coming from this one.
Yeah, I would think we're looking at control max here.
Yeah. Looks like it out overly hard.
Going on it early. You can see if she got a little tight.
It looks...
It's curling over onto the front one here. This is... Oh, what a great job sweeping.
Sweep.
What a great job.
Thank your sweeper for that one.
Yeah, wow, I thought that was ticking the front one.
Yeah, that was a great sweep and a great shot. And
you know, my old eyes aren't that good, but I was pretty sure that was ticking the front guard. So
yeah, probably made the third sweat a little bit there,
yeah.
But stuck with it.
Huge point by Nova Scotia there. She ticks that front guard. She's probably given up 3. So great job by the sweepers.
It makes life a lot easier as a skip, having those sweepers to hold your rocks and help you out along the way, and makes teams like this just waiting for the official to get off the ice, and they'll be good to go.
Nova Scotia probably goes a little bit harder for the steal here, down 1 without Hammer playing 6. It'd sure be nice to tie things up. So
I'm thinking the game plan they briefly talked about was to go for the steal. Getting 1 here, tying the game up is, yeah, like you said, it's huge.
Off to a good start here. Center guard's just coming in, touching the center line, halfway between the hog and the house. So
yeah, really nice center guard. They looking like they're comfortable with that out-turn path from the 4th end, so they're going to stick to that and play down there. And
Alberta's going to get Juliana to come around that center guard. Top 8, top 4.
Signaling maybe a little heavy here. But we've seen it dig here before. It looks like it's coming down nice. They don't want it behind the tee line.
I'm gonna go just talk to her. I'll tell her to move.
Oh, really nice. That came down good. Above the tee. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Alberta seems to like the in-turn coming this way, and Nova Scotia's loving this out-turn. So
yeah, I mean, they've been throwing both really nice, so Nova Scotia's really got this path figured out, so if they like it, they can keep throwing it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Talking a little heavy here from the sweepers.
This one looks a little more heavy, but it's cutting really hard. We're going to slide a little bit by it. Sticks around in the back 12.
It's the new argument with the directional sweeping. When a draw is heavy, do you pound it to make it curl, or do you let it die on its own and see what happens?
Yeah, and sometimes you get caught, you try to pound it, and it just doesn't curl quite that much. And I lean to the belief where when you get close to the hog line, the directional becomes a little bit more effective when that rock starts to slow down. So you can wait a little bit on it, but you see some teams, they'll directional right out of someone's hand.
The theory is it's more effective once it's started its break. So good chance for Juliana to get another one in here and really start to put a lot of pressure on Nova Scotia.
Don't want to set up a pocket here, but
pretty close to the same weight. You're right, though. She's probably not happy with the pocket there. Nova Scotia either draws onto that or just looks like they're going to play a really quiet hit and a flop here, I think.
Not a bad call. If it ever doesn't curl up on them, they move both those off the button. And
Cassidy's in turn here.
Looks like they're going
on
early.
it right away.
I think they're definitely by that guard. Now it's just a matter of the directional getting on there, and looks like it's really close. Not a bad shot.
Move both rocks a little bit. So gonna make Alberta deal with that blue stone that's in the 4-foot now.
Thinking it's edge on edge, a little less than that. Probably tucked a piece of that.
Yeah, looks like
Nova Scotia stone.
Julia's going to get Alyssa to throw a hack weight here. So probably going to play, pretty much have to play for the little bit of a roll under so you don't jam on the yellow stone.
They're probably okay if they clip that high guard too, moving it over a little bit. That's not the end of the world for them, but making a roll behind here would be really good.
This one's all about weight control. Give it to the sweepers.
To communicate, I think it's
Must
close.
be close.
It's by the guard, but
this is a great looking shot.
It's a very nice
Slight
shot.
inside flop.
Very nice shot by Alyssa there.
It's all about weight control. Throw the right weight, makes the shot a lot easier to make.
Yeah, those sweepers out there can hold those rocks for a long time, as we've seen. And if you set it pretty close to the right path and with the right weight, they'll help you out a long way.
Cassidy looks like playing same kind of type of shot.
It's getting a little harder to make those now.
Yeah,
'Cause
probably just hoping to yellow onto yellow and sit in front of it.
see, this one's looking a little bit heavier. They're gonna get a piece of that yellow, but they're rolling out. It's not a bad shot at all.
Moved that one yellow behind the tee line, which is a good thing for Nova Scotia. And Alberta sees it. Julia's going to switch and come around this outturn side. And
Yeah, take that.
still probably going to be a way in there through the in-turn.
Yeah, I think with the break, they can definitely get in there with the in-turn. And it's just a matter of being patient with the curl there. And I don't even think you need to skinny that guard. It's so high.
Fans of Alberta, Nova Scotia men. The Alberta men got 2 in the 5th end, so it's now 4-1 Alberta over Nova Scotia in the men's game. Playing the 6th end, Nova Scotia has hammer.
This looks like a pretty good shot there from Alyssa. Just coming up a little heavy. They're going to leave a hit of some sort for Nova Scotia. I wouldn't be shocked to actually see them try the double here.
That's what she called, I think.
Yeah, just play it kind of, basically if you hit it in the crotch of those two, you'll make the yellows go away. Looks like the stands are getting more and more packed as we go on. There's some other, looks like Team Ontario is here cheering on their fellow teammates.
Yeah, they filled up a bleacher over there beside sheet 2, it looks like. So Taylor got a little bit wide on this one. That's that tricky throw some weight in the straight spot. It runs straight there. She gets rid of 1. Alberta's sitting 2 with one of them behind the center guard there, and they're looking to come right on top of it again. Probably top 8, top 12, something like that.
Yeah, she'd signaled top 4. I think she's really trying to put the pressure on and shrink the scoring area. But
Quinn's first rock here. Switching up the sweepers, trying to get a little more curl on this one. It's hanging out a little bit.
Yeah, this has that late break though, and there it goes. Don't want to set any sort of triple up, and I don't think they did, but
it's quite a late break. That break was almost after the hog line.
Yeah. Like we've been saying, that outturn path, it just seems a little, with that extra rotation that Alberta has, it's a little bit trickier. It definitely favors the Nova Scotia throws there. Nova Scotia taking quite a bit less ice on this hit. I imagine we're going to see a quick one coming here.
Yeah, tough spot for Nova Scotia. They kind of needed to go hard for the steal, but when you gamble, sometimes makes it easier for that team with hammer. Like they should through this one well.
It's just hanging there. But makes it by the guard, and not a bad shot by any means.
I think Alberta's going to want to be careful here. They put one up top on the 8-foot where Julia is tapping. I think there's a spot for Nova Scotia to come in the other way and freeze on that one on the button.
It's quite the fun Alberta fan out there, dressed in the blue onesie, it looks like, or blue skin suit with the flag.
Oh, yeah. Must be getting late in the evening. This is really going to choke off that out-turn side here.
I think you're almost forcing her to play that in-turn freeze on that back one. And it's not easy anymore.
Yeah, she actually did a good job, kind of closed off that out-turn side and did make the in-turn a little tighter than it was. So
it's still there. It's just you really got to sweep to get by that top yellow one now.
Yeah. Callie's first rock here in 6, pretty big one. She puts this one in there, there's a good chance for a steal.
Yeah, this is a big shot for the young skip. They're on it early out of her hand, probably just to keep it wide. The weight looks okay. Oh, no, they're going hard now. This is the first time Nova Scotia has thrown down this path. This rock's looking really good. They got to go. Oh, that rock had perfect line.
Perfect line.
It's still not in a bad spot. Nova Scotia can use it, but I don't think Alberta's going to give them the chance to.
Alberta's going to try and choke off this in-turn side. I'm not sure if she decided to go around it or on top of it.
I imagine with how wide that ice is, they're going to try to play the longer guard, but
Julia makes this. Nova Scotia's not going to have a great option to try and cut down this end even, so.
Yeah. Yeah, Alberta puts this guard up here. It's looking like it might be a big end for him.
She puts this in a good spot. I'm having trouble seeing an easy one for Nova Scotia to cut them down to less than 2.
Yeah. Well, maybe looking like we're coming around here with this weight.
I thought she tapped like the 8-foot, so.
For me, this is a bit of a risky call.
You get it around there.
But this looks, whoa.
Wow. It's actually not a bad shot. She's probably left that blue tap there.
I think that blue tap is there, and you don't have to be cute with the weight on that one either. You can throw like a back line and probably be okay with the curl. And
not sure where Alberta was trying to go with that one. If they were trying to go around, the way they swept, it looked like they weren't.
Yeah, the around call there seemed very aggressive, but I mean, if you make it, you really cut that draw path off. But I think the guard was easier and just as effective as coming in with it. And yeah, looks like they're not throwing a ton of weight at this, taking quite a bit of ice, but probably just a firm back 4, back 8 weight. Just tap it up.
If she could ever tap it right to frozen on that one on the back of the button, that might be the game saver here.
This, yeah, another big shot for Callie. She's made a few of these though, so gotta get to nose on that rock she just threw. Looks like that's moving pretty quick.
Might be a little more weight than she wanted to throw. It's trying.
Don't know if you can get to the inside of the yellow and play a plan B, but
It's like Alberta's got a line at least 3 right now, I would say.
Yeah, at very least 3. There's the potential of 4, but I think they're just going to draw this one on top of that yellow they have there and take their 4. And
control of the game with a 4 here.
yeah, they're going to be quite happy with how this end worked out. They made some good shots there and put some pressure on.
Stayed quite aggressive, even though Nova Scotia went aggressive.
Paid off.
Turned it into a big end, yep.
Getting that pre-shot routine going. And
I think she can probably draw up to the yellow one on the bite in the forefoot on this side, and she'll be shot. So
it looked like she took quite a bit of ice. She didn't want to come close to that blue one and bump it forward. But
sweepers are just keeping it clean all the way in here, backing off a little bit here.
I think we're okay. Very good draw.
They're okay, yeah.
No mistake made there.
Back forefoot. We're going to have a look at those 2 up at the front, and
it's handshakes.
Oh, it's handshakes.
I guess we're
not
done.
sure we get paid the full amount if they shake early like that. So.
Oh, good game by.
Yeah, it was a great game to that point. And Alberta cracks it open with a, well, I'm guessing at least a 4-ender. Maybe it was a 5-ender, and they've decided to shake. They've got another game tomorrow morning, so
refresh and get ready to go. Both teams still in that playoff hunt. And, yeah.
Before we shut down here, we can try to run through some scores for you. We'll maybe go across, starting at this end. So Alberta boys still up 4-1, playing the 6th end, but Nova Scotia is lying a couple here.
Yeah, they're Alberta's hitting. Looks like we're trying for a just to get to nose of this rock, I would imagine.
We've got the Quebec women up 4-3 on PEI. Quebec and PEI men are tied. Manitoba just cracked a steal of 3 to go up 5-1 on the Ontario women. That's a battle of two of the playoff-bound teams, probably.
Yeah.
Ontario men are up on Manitoba. Can't see that. They're up 5-2 on Manitoba, playing the 6th end. Saskatchewan women are up 4-3 on BC, playing 7. BC men are up on Saskatchewan. Looks like 5-4 there. New Brunswick is up 5-3 on the Northwest Territories in a women's game, and New Brunswick has come back big time on sheet 1. It's now
6-4, I believe.
6-4 for New Brunswick's over the Northwest Territories on sheet 2. That's it for our game, so I guess we'll sign off for tonight. That's it from the Pitt-Herney Center on Wednesday night. Andrew and I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., probably on the same sheet unless we switch with the other group for sheet 10, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good night.
Good night.